Let's look at interviews in this video. So we shall start by defining what an interview is. An interview is an interaction between two parties to achieve a predetermined purpose. In business, interviews are conducted for employment purposes, to get information and to give information. All managers have to interview their staff for one reason or the other. Many of these interviews are informal conversations arising directly from the day-to-day work, but others require careful preparations. Let's look at the types of interviews. And the first type we have is the employment or selection interviews. So these ones are to decide on whom to appoint. So during this interview, it is necessary to know exactly what the job is all about and what skills and attributes the most suitable candidate or applicant should possess. Therefore, a job specification should be drawn up following a careful analysis. Selection interviews always intend to establish the candidate's level of intelligence, the personal traits, their verbal and numerical abilities, or any specific skills. So it's all about getting to know the candidate who is interested in the job. The aim of a selection interview is to obtain maximum information about the candidate in the minimum time possible. Therefore, to achieve the goal, it is essential to put the candidate at their ease and then establish a relationship so that you can be able to get all the information that you want out of the candidate. Another type of interviews we have is appraisal interviews. So these are interviews which aim at evaluating the employee's performance at his or her job and then his or her potential for development or promotion. So an employee may be required to complete a written appraisal form of an employee and then discuss it with your line manager. So that is the appraisal. It's all about evaluating the performance of the employee to see whether they are performing to the targeted performance, or they are below the target, or they are above. What are their chances of developing in the organization, or chances of promotion, stuff like that. So this form of interview, which is the appraisal interview, aims at the following. First is that it aims at informing the employee of his present position in the working group. How are they working? Are they good? Are they bad? Are they up there? Then recognizing good work and then efficient work. Appreciate those who are doing well. Then telling an employee where improvement is needed. Then it also aims at developing the employee's capability in the existing job and then training them for a change. And lastly, it also acts as a record of assessment. Another type we have is guiding and counseling interviews. It is now recognized that people's problems outside work or within the work environment and workmates can have significant effect on their efficiency and then their productivity. So in some large organizations, there are now professionally trained counselors who spend all or part of their time helping and advising staff on different issues in their lives. And most of the times, individual managers also try to assist their staff and arrange confidential interviews with any employee who has a personal problem. The problem may affect their performance at work, so they have to guide them and then talk to them and know what is going on. So counseling and guidance, it's mainly for solving problems or getting to know what is bothering someone and then give them solutions or recommendations. Another type of interview we have is radio and television interviews. So one of the staff in the organization may be called to any station so that they can talk about the organization and what they do, maybe the factors affecting their performance, stuff like that. So that person who is called on the station, whatever they say is regarded as the views of the company. Another type of interview we have is the information interview. So this one, the interviewer seeks facts that bear on a decision. Questions are asked and then answers are given. One needs to decide in advance what information they are actually looking for. So information interview, it's like questioning someone and then you want answers. That is the information interview. We also have the persuasive interview. So this one, a person tells another about a new idea, product, and then explains why the other one should act on the recommendations. So you're trying to convince someone. So the persuader asks about the other's needs and then shows how the product is able to meet those needs. It's like trying to sell an idea or trying to sell a product to someone. You're persuading them to do something. Then we also have the exit interviews. Here, the interviewer tries to understand why the interviewee is leaving the organization, especially when you write a resignation letter. So you'll have an exit interview and they ask you the reasons as to why you are leaving the organization. We also have the disciplinary interviews. So here a supervisor tries to correct the behavior of an employee who has ignored the organizational rules and regulations. And the aim of this one is to make the employees see the reason as to why those rules were put there and then agree to comply to the rules and regulations. So it's like trying to put sense into someone or trying to guide someone so that they can be able to do the right thing. Then we also have the terminal interviews. Here, the supervisor informs an employee of the reasons for the termination or firing someone. The interviewer tries to avoid involving company in a legal action because the person may go to court and be like, I was fired or I was terminated without an explanation. So a terminal interview is held so that they can be able to explain to the employee the reasons as to why they are terminating him or her. And lastly, we have the conflict resolution interview. So this happens when there are two people competing or groups. So a manager can come together and then explore their problems and attitudes. So the goal is to bring two parties closer together, cause adjustments in perceptions and then attitudes, and then create a more productive climate or environment. So here you are trying to solve conflicts between two people or two groups or two teams so that they can be one.